Well, things got heated among the insiders. That's not breaking news. They often will do that. So we're seeing on social media some response to our talk about the candidates going forward. Let's get some thoughts about what we should be watching for going into Super Tuesday, too.
Let me give you a quick summary. I'll start on the Democratic side. Quickly, Hillary should win Florida and North Carolina easily. I think she's in very good shape in Ohio, but as Pat has suggested, she was in good shape in Michigan, and that didn't work out too well. Missouri and Illinois are very close. I think Bernie Sanders will probably be very close, probably could well win there. On the Republican side, I think Trump will win Florida, lose Ohio, Missouri, Ohio, Illinois, up for grabs.
Can we step back to the Democrats for just a second? Why do you think Bernie Sanders is still winning? Because she scooped up all these superdelegates. That doesn't tell the voters anything, apparently.
Voters are very angry on the Democratic side. The same points John and Pat were making about anger exist on the Democratic side, but a very different set of solutions, particularly for economically distressed white working class union members and young people. And I think that could drive Sanders to 2 or 3 states.
Okay, what are you watching
Sanders, let me just say this. Between now and Tuesday, if I were Sanders, I would hang Rahm Emanuel around her neck. The former chief, I mean, really, one of her biggest supporters, who is an albatross in that state. But I believe that Ohio is very doable. I think Sanders can do
even despite the fact that she's 20 points ahead?
Yeah, well, Michigan, all I have to know is Michigan, every poll, 20 points
Can I just talk? I mean, you guys are the polling experts. Why are the polls so darn wrong?
Because the people doing them don't know what they're doing, if you want to be blunt about it. They don't understand their models. They have too few interviews, and they're too short. They don't bother to get any detail. This is being driven by a media and by reporters who are too lazy, frankly, to go out and do any work.
Okay, on Tuesday, what I'm looking for first on the Republican side is some proof now whether this thing that we talked about in the first segment, the violence, the changing of the tenor of the Trump operation, are there consequences? Does he get rewarded for it on Tuesday? Does he get penalized? That we don't know.
The changing of the tenor. I mean, Thursday night's debate
was great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand.
Well, then, and he met with Ben Carson Friday morning at Mar-a-Lago.
So how could all that positive be negative? I guess
it went because it changed that afternoon in St. Louis when he starts yelling at these protesters and saying.
All right, so I'm seeing a lot of blowback. So I want to ask on behalf of the. Hold on one second, Pat. Reese says on Twitter, I am shocked at why John is saying talk about the divisive rhetoric. Entire donor class united against Trump. She says it's a disgrace. I say she. It could be a he.
Right.
So what do you say to that?
Well, hold on. I don't know who the donor class is, and they don't like Trump, and that's fine. But I haven't heard any donor say, I'd like to punch Trump in the mouth. This level of discourse...
You don't talk to the same donors I do.
Yeah. A lot of them really are pretty darn angry.
Well, you hang out with them.
I do hang out with them, yes. My friend.
As a candidate for office, frankly, I don't understand something, okay? When you go out, your job is to try to convince people to vote for you. Now, you can play billiard...
Well, that's been working for him so far.
Well, wait a second. You can play billiard politics, okay? And here's what that is. I will tick off African-American voters by having these demonstrations, drag people out, say nasty stuff at them, with the purpose of trying to get whites to vote for me. I can play that kind of politics. That may be going on here. It's going on in the crowd.
You better have some evidence for that.
I don't believe that. I don't believe it either.
Okay.
I know how to play.
So we have a guy going up the stairs, and a guy elbows him in the face, and Trump says, I'll pay the guy's legal fees. Now, what kind of signal does that? How are we going to unite the country?
You can object to what Donald Trump said. I wouldn't impute race where it is not been mentioned.
He's not a racist.
He's not a racist.
I didn't say he's a racist, but he's...
Oh, my goodness.
But he's playing...
Let's understand one thing importantly. He has touched something that voters are looking for. He is the person who is attacking the political class, which is trying to take him. He has... The terrible thing for him this weekend is he was on message on trade. Yeah. We will see whether, and my guess is, I don't think, you can play it either way, but I have to tell you that the Republican primaries and having the obvious organized provocateurs in this business are not going the reaction is, I think, going to be
He'll do
poor.
All right,
better.
real quickly, Doug.
He'll do better promoting unity
Yes.
and sticking to his core
But he
theme
we said
rather
this-
than being divisive.
I would never have guessed I would see two Democrats arguing with John over the front runner in the Republican race.
Look, we're critical of what Trump's done. We just see it very differently than John, with very different
And
outcomes.
what I hear you saying, Pat, too, is that the bigger sort of at 37,000 feet view of this Gestalt view, is that voters are angry on both sides.
Yes,
Correct.
they want. Look,
Correct.
the Democratic voters, Bernie Sanders people, are furious, and they should be, at the rigging of the Democratic process by superdelegates aided and abetted by the media.
Right.
They shouldn't even be covered. They're not even bound.
Right.